been absolutely disgraceful.
It's so funny that Ben Shapiro feels the need to call Candace Owens out over this, over such a lukewarm statement. It should be a completely non-controversial statement to say genocide is bad and no government should ever justify it. We're gonna talk Ben Shapiro. We gotta talk about some Ben Shapiro. So, let's talk. There's been a falling out recently. Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro are at each other's throats. So this all started on November 3rd, when Candace Owens tweeted out, "No government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide ever. There is no justification for a genocide. I can't believe this even needs to be said or is even considered the least bit controversial to state." And she was based for that. But the people at Daily Wire did not take this okay. They were not happy with any of this. Dave Rubin ends up replying to Candace Owens and says, "Well, as I'm sure you know, Candace, the Palestinian population has quadrupled 5 times in a few decades. But thank you for taking a strong stand against Hamas's stated genocide of the Jews, which is in their charter." So it's also interesting to note that whenever they pull out this chart, it never starts before the Nakba, because if you go back further, it's very obvious that the population of Palestinians just completely fucking plummets. Candace Owens responds to this. "What's amazing about this is that I did not name any country in this tweet. I simply stated that genocide is wrong, always. This is not a controversial stance. Interesting how you interpreted it." She fucking cooked him. So she responds again to Dave Rubin. "In short, if the blanket statement that genocide is wrong upsets you in any way, then you need to check yourself. I said exactly what I meant, and I won't be backing down or apologizing or further clarifying this statement."
The internet was dominated yesterday by video of Ben Shapiro, who you work with at the Daily Wire, I think it's fair to say, attacking you. Here's the video. I just want to get your reaction to it.
Yes, the question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt. I can't go with that. Yeah, I mean, she still works for my company. I think she's been absolutely disgraceful.
It's so funny that Ben Shapiro feels the need to call Candace Owens out over this, over such a lukewarm statement. It should be a completely non-controversial statement to say genocide is bad and no government should ever justify it.
I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
So maybe there's a point in the video where he explains what exactly you did wrong and how you were wrong. I haven't seen it. But to call somebody, quote, absolutely disgraceful, particularly a coworker, seems like a pretty big step. And I really don't know the background here. What is that about?
You know, there isn't much of a background. I saw the video when everybody else saw it when I woke up.
No one warned you about it.
Nobody warned me about it. It looks like maybe he didn't know he was being recorded. It looks like it was some sort of a private event. I got no clarity on the issue that he was particularly speaking on. And in what was said, I can't respond to it beyond what he's saying because it's just ad hominem attacks. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not, we disagree, or
yeah.
I don't think she's correct, or maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, exactly. And so I can't respond to it on a level of intellect because there's nothing that he has expressed in that, at least in that short clip, that he fundamentally disagrees with in terms of what I said. But I will say that I'm not going to respond with the same ad hominem attacks. Yes. I don't think it helps further discussion. And if that was me that was caught on a video saying that about colleagues that I work with, I would be embarrassed. So I think that the video speaks more to Ben's character than it speaks to mine.
Has he texted you to apologize or explain or anything?
No, nothing. I haven't heard a single word. It just was sort of something that he said. And you know what?
God, Ben Shapiro is such a loser that even Tucker Carlson had to say this is fucked up. Anyone who says that only the left infights, completely wrong. I did not expect that I would be saying Candace Owens based in 2023. This is taking me for a complete ride. And I know how Candace Owens feels about trans people, but critical support for her in this, standing up for the Palestinian people. Did not expect this to happen whatsoever.
Ben and I have many disagreements, so I don't think that that's particularly something that's interesting. We disagreed on the COVID vaccine. We disagree on Ukraine and Russia. He has taken virtually every stance that has been the opposite of mine on every issue over the last 5 years. So I don't think that that's particularly
On the COVID
remarkable.
vaccine. Really, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he was pro the COVID vaccine. I was anti the vaccine. You know, we were all idiots for not getting the vaccine. So that's totally fine. I am totally open to people having a difference in opinion.
Right.
I would hope that amongst colleagues that it would always be civil disagreement, and I would never in a private event stand on a table and talk badly about Ben.
It's just it's a little weird. So he was on the left on those three biggest issues of our time, is what you're saying?
He has converted his opinions. He's accepted responsibility. He said, you know, I was wrong about the vaccine.
Oh, good.
He is, you know, obviously pro pharma. His mom's a doctor. And I say to people, I'm very aware of my perspectives on big pharma, and I talk about it on my show openly. And I think that that's a tremendous credit to the Daily Wire that they allow a difference of opinions. But I would, as I said, hope that it would remain respectful and that you wouldn't throw your colleagues under a bus, so to speak, in a private setting.
Keffels, the issue is that we have the pro-Palestinian left and the JQ right that uses the Palestinian as an avenue of attack. Yeah, no, I would agree with that, yeah. But let's keep going, because this goes further than this. So Candace Owens tweets after this interview with Tucker Carlson, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for the righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Christ is king." Ben Shapiro quote tweet Candace Owens and responds as saying, Ben Shapiro says, "Candace, if you feel that taking money from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means quit." And then Candace Owens ratios Ben Shapiro 20K to 49K. "You have been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we have all had to sit back and allow it, and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. But you cross a certain line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it." Damn. So Charlie Kirk got involved and said, quote tweeting Candace Owens here, "I am genuinely confused why asking questions and quoting Bible verses about peace warrants a call to resign from Daily Wire. There should be more room in the conservative movement for disagreement. We can do better than this." Even Charlie Kirk is like, "Ben, what the fuck are you doing? You're going way too far. Ben, stop. Ben, please." Like, Charlie Kirk is like in the scene in Breaking Bad where Walter's in the back of the car. He's just screaming. Oh. So Ari Drennan noticed this, but Candace Owens just liked a tweet by a blue check troll with less than 500 followers telling Ben Shapiro to grow up. Following this controversy, Candace Owens did not post a show to the Daily Wire Plus. An image upload yesterday said that there would be no show that day and that she would be back soon. Here's how Ben Shapiro responded to all of this.
Well, again, with Mr. Obama, you said, and you're Jewish yourself.
Wait. This isn't a response. This is a classic clip. I don't think she's not fired. We don't know what's happening yet. But I do want to see what was said here.
Well, again,
this was a classic clip where Ben Shapiro could not tolerate any pushback whatsoever. Even though the conservative commentator at BBC was actually trying to help him out.
With Mr. Obama, you said, and you're Jewish yourself. I only mention that because, to put this in context, the Jews who vote for Obama are, by and large, Jews in name only. Ginos, you call them.
My statement was based on the fact that Jews in the United States, as an ethnic group, are largely irreligious, which is true by Every single poll. Jews are the most irreligious group in the United States. As an Orthodox Jew who actually takes Judaism seriously, the point that I am making is that most Jews who are ethnically Jewish are not religiously Jewish in any context.
No. The point you were making is that Jews who vote for Obama are Jews in name only.
I said that, yes, that is correct. That Jews who voted for Barack Obama, a progenitor of the Iran deal, a person who was cracking down on religious liberty, a person who spent much of his career as president of the United States attempting to deprive Israel of the necessities to defend itself, Jews who voted for President Obama, by and large, cared about Judaism far less than they did about other priorities.
Did you said they should turn their badge in as a Jew?
Yes, I believe that if you are somebody who takes Judaism seriously, that comes along with ideological commitment.
I mean, I guess.
Also, I hope you're having fun, by the way, going through every old tweet that I've ever sent to try and do gotcha questions. But if you'd like to have a discussion about my general philosophy or things I've done in, say, I don't know, that was 2012, so it's now 2019. If you'd like to discuss something I've done in, say, like the past 5 years, why don't we do that? How about that?
Because
it's so crazy. Because what was actually happening here is the interviewer was trying to give Ben Shapiro a bunch of softball questions. And he immediately went on the offense, thinking that he was being attacked.
Because your book is a criticism of how angry America is and how America has to do better. And I'm simply
I have an entire list on my website, sir. On my list, I have an entire website of dumb, bad things that I've said. I'm simply trying to point out
some of the things you've said that seem to me to help to stoke that anger. For example, you said Israelis like to build, Arabs like to bomb crap and live in open sewage.
Well, as I say in an article entitled, here's a list of all the giant, bad, dumb things I've ever said.
Was that dumb?
Yes, that's a dumb tweet. And not only, but it is also important to mention that the next few tweets clarify that tweet is specifically referring to the Hamas leadership, which, by the way, a BBC I've seen is relatively reticent to condemn.
No, actually, it wasn't. What you went on to do and say, you are correct about the slur on Arabs. It's not all Arabs that want to live in open sewage and blow things up. It's just Palestinians, you went on to say.
No, it says the ones who take sides against Israel in the Israel-Palestinian conflict.
Population is rotten to the core, you went on to say. Not Hamas. The Palestinian Arab population.
I say that by poll numbers, they elected Hamas. They educate their children in school that Israel should be obliterated, sir.
I guess.
If you want to read, honestly, this is a giant waste of time in the sense that the entire interview is designed for you to shout slogans or old things that I've said at me. I don't see how this forwards the debate. You talk about undermining the public discourse. It seems to me that simply going through and finding lone things that sound bad out of context and then hitting people with them is a way for you to make a quick buck on BBC off the fact that I'm popular and no one has ever heard of you.
There are not many bucks to be made on the BBC, unlike American broadcasting, Mr. Shapiro. The point I'm trying to make is that your words are highly designed to produce the consensus and understanding that the book seems to want to produce. That's my point, that you write about, Judeo-Christian culture and so on, but so much of what you've said in the past would seem to turn its back on Judeo-Christian culture.
You're lecturing me on Judeo-Christian culture after you call the pro-life position barbaric?
I just asked you a question.
And I asked you a question. You failed to answer a single one of mine. Frankly, I find this whole thing a waste of time. If you want to read the book and critique the book, why don't you read and critique the book? If you want to critique me, you can think whatever you want of me.
Why don't you just try and answer the questions?
I don't frankly give a damn what you think of me since I've never heard of you.
And I've never heard of you until I briefed myself for this. But that's not the issue. You have a new book out.
Then why the hell are you interviewing me, sir?
It's an interesting book. But my point is, your book claims that society...
Well, it'd be nice if you would quote it from time to time.
Your book is... Well, actually, I've done so several times, and I'm about to do so again, if you would let me just finish the question. Your book claims that society is turning its back on Judeo-Christian values. What are those values? What are the values it's turning its back on?
I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you as an interviewer. So I think we're done here. I appreciate your time, sir.
All right. Well, thank you for your time and for showing that anger is not part of American political discourse. Now, Mr. Shapiro, we'll say goodbye.
So that's what's going on. I'll keep updates. I'm going to keep tabs on this whole situation, and I will update everyone on how this is going.